A drop of water forms in the heavens, in the clouds, coalescing, cascading down through the air, imploding into the ocean, a 0 point implosion sending forth a splash, rising a pillar of water straight into the sky. And just when this natural flow begins to slow, just when this momentum stops, another drop bursts forth free, hovering there in the air for a moment. And in this moment of separation, this little drop of water looks out upon the ocean and says, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful." When there is no future, when there is no past, when we behold this moment in wholeness, we return to our innocence. We walk forth into novelty. We walk forth into the unknown, letting go of expectations, allowing the divine to unfold before us. Our innocence is beckoning, calling us forth like little children. What awaits you?
So often we feel the need to control everything. We want to direct circumstances, events, people, and outcomes. We need a map that shows us exactly how things are going to happen and the precise timing things will unfold in our lives. This desire for control is often the reason for our mental, physical, and spiritual angst. Myrtle Fillmore says many of the things that we do and expect to control are not spiritual in the sense that they are in accord with God's laws and plans. The real control is in living according to the perfect pattern and law. It is not spiritual thought that causes one to worry or to become tense or to drive the body in an effort to gain intellectually. When we align ourselves with spirit and listen to that still small voice, we can abdicate control of others and of external circumstances. The revealing word tells us that abdicating is letting go or renouncing, which helps us to eliminate error and to expand the good. When our egos relinquish control and we willingly give up our personal ideas and loves, we are restored to the Father's house or to our Christ consciousness, which is the truth of our being. The most practical thing to do, according to Butterworth, is to take a time to get still and let go of the tensions and pressures around us, and to just let ourselves contemplate the reality of our inward flow, the infinite process that is expressing itself as us. Just let it all go, and then get the sense of being at the very heart and center of the whole universe, with substance and life and intelligence. See it all streaming and pouring into you, filling you, thrilling you, strengthening you, revitalizing you. As you slowly experience the labyrinth, let go of your mental map and live from your center. Reflect on this quote from Charles Fillmore. Spirit will find a way to lead you when you have freely and fully dedicated yourself to God, and you will be led in a path just a little different from that of anyone else. You will find that the guidance of Spirit is that right course for you, and in the end, that it was the only course that you could possibly have taken.
As I hospice my small church in the wake of the transition of our senior minister, we sense that we're being led to leave behind this incarnation to join another local unity community together. This larger church is close by, and it's also in transition, at the apex of their process of hiring a new minister and reorganizing their staff. It's a synchronicity that's truly awe-inspiring, as both ministries find their feet in something new. In truth, we're already one community, all in unity with many members who know each other. But what will this mean for my ministry? Will our members be able to maintain our closeness, our friendship, our love for each other? Will I still be able to use my gifts to lead effectively? Excitement bubbles up for us as we imagine so many new opportunities. Study groups, monthly women's and men's groups, Wednesday services, a youth program, new friends. I already have so many friends in this larger ministry, and my excitement at working with this staff lifts me to a new level of joy that leaves me afraid of it. Afraid that it isn't real, that my hopes are too high, that the idea will blow up and leave me deflated and hopeless and sad. What if it doesn't happen? Yet, when Spirit leads, isn't excitement our guiding force? Can I sustain this feeling? Do I need to? Can I hold this feeling in faith as proof positive that my steps are guided in right direction, even when the feeling ebbs and flows or even subsides? Faith allows me to maintain the higher path, one that will surely lead me and my congregation to God's highest good. This or something better, God. I consciously hold space for all my feelings, those of fear and excitement, and I release anxiety as I step forward to lead our community into our new incarnation in faith.
Prosperity comes from our willingness to say yes to opportunities that don't fit our preconceived ideas. We limit ourselves by thinking our abundance can only come from certain areas. But truthfully, the universe is far more creative than we are. It delights in showing up through the side door, through unexpected conversation, strange synchronicity, the thing we almost said no to because it didn't match the plan. We think prosperity has to look a certain way, a raise, a client, winning the lottery. But what if it shows up instead as rest, or a conversation that reconnects us to joy, or a detour that brings us back to ourselves? When we're too attached to how abundance should look, we miss how it's already unfolding around us. The Labyrinth teaches this. The path winds, turns, and doubles back. It rarely feels linear, but it's always leading somewhere sacred. And just like that path, our journey toward prosperity is rarely straight. It's mysterious. It asks us to trust that even the detours can carry gifts. So today as we walk, may we soften our grip on expectation. May we say yes to the strange, the gentle, the quiet blessings that don't fit the mold. Because often, those are the ones that change everything. I now invite you to click the link in the chat to open your own unexpected gift. Let it be a small reminder that abundance doesn't always arrive the way we imagined, but it always finds a way.
One day, I was an incredibly happily married, self-employed, well-established and secure mom and grandma, living my best life in a way I was just sure would go on forever. The next day, I was the wife of a husband with stage 4 cancer. 27 days later, I was a widow, and life, as I knew it, simply ceased to exist. Oh yeah, I had my faith, my home, my family, my business. But suddenly, none of these seemed to be what they were before. I didn't know what I knew anymore. When life as you know it comes to a screeching halt, please take that opportunity to pause everything and anything before you take one more step forward. Stop, breathe, connect, feel, allow, reconnect, breathe some more, allow some more. Repeat as many times as necessary with each and every step forward you take forever from there. Our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, said, God in the midst of us is a great and steady stream of renewing and cleansing and vitalizing life. And we can have the use of this life if we will open up the channels of its flowing and ourselves draw from its source. That source is God. And not only are we in God, but God is in us, not just sometimes, every time, every place, every situation, and every lamentation. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, said, individual consciousness is like an eddy in the ocean. All the elements that are found in the ocean are also found in the eddy, and every eddy may, in due course, receive and give forth all that is in the ocean. But that can only happen if we let it. When you're on your knees, remember, Myrtle said we must have quiet and opportunity for inward searching, for we must go beyond what we have heretofore attained. In Talks in Truth, Charles said, God is the silent voice that speaks into visibility all the life there is. Each pause is sacred. Stop. Steep. Let your godness decide your next step. Every single next step from here, this moment, on out.
There is a language older than words, a voice not made of sound, but of breath and pause and presence. When we grow quiet, truly quiet, we do not fall into absence. We fall into the heart of being itself. In this silence, the soul remembers what the mind forgets, that wisdom is not always loud, that the mystery need not explain itself to be felt. What wisdom emerges when we are still? Perhaps none that can be named, but all that can be known. In this quiet, a deeper memory stirs, not just your own, but the memory of all who walked before you. Sense now the richness of your ancestry and descendants. Feel the heart thread connecting you to your earth ancestry. The water's murmur is the voice of our father's father. The rivers are our brothers. The rocky crests, the dew in the meadow, the warmth of the pony's flank, all belong to your soul family. See all the eyes through which you have seen and rest in knowing that they are seeing now. See all the eyes through which you have seen and rest in knowing that they are seeing now. Take a breath. Breathe into this cosmic gathering of souls, remembered now in the silence of deep presence, the spaceless ground on which we commune. Feel this memory stretching back to the beginning of time. Let it soak into the fabric of your life, into your triumphs and your stumblings. And let it saturate this moment, this culture, this breath. Let the soul's name be heard, not shouted, but whispered in the cradle of infancy, as a sourceless calling, blinking its eyes, waiting for clarity to emerge. Sense this as a remembrance that echoes in your body, heart, and mind. See all the eyes through which you have seen, and rest in knowing that they are seeing now. Feel the depths of presence that is here, inside and outside of time. Let the mystery speak you into remembrance.
Years ago, I was on a group hiking trip in the Sierras in Nevada. One day was especially grueling, and I was so relieved to reach base camp and sit down for dinner. But then the leader announced a full moon hike. Even though I thought it was the most ridiculous idea I'd ever heard, I reluctantly joined the group. As we walked up the ridge, something surprising happened. I began to feel more centered. It was as if my feet had developed eyes. I wasn't staring at the ground like I did in the daylight. I began to trust in the darkness, and I could actually look around more freely than in broad daylight. At the top of the ridge, we rested briefly. Then the leader turned to me and said, "Linda, lead us back." I wanted to stay in the back, but he insisted, "You up front." I didn't know the way down, but as I began to walk, I noticed the light of the full moon revealed just enough to see the next bend in the path. And when I got there, I could see the next one. With each step, I felt my faith and confidence growing, and an inner knowing that the path would be revealed one step at a time. Myrtle Fillmore wrote, "As we take each step in spiritual understanding, we find that the light of God goes before us, making the way plain." So how do you keep the faith when the full path isn't visible? For me, that full moon hike became one of the clearest spiritual lessons in my life. And it still reminds me, you don't need to see far ahead. You just need enough light for the next bend.
Can I find peace in the question and trust in faith? Learning to ride a bike is one of those childhood moments that stays with you, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. At first, it feels impossible. You're wobbly, you're unsure, you fall, and then you get up and try again. And the only way it works is if you just do it, without fully knowing how. You just do. You trust. Imagine teaching someone else to ride. Maybe you have. Either way, imagine what that would be like. They're wobbly. They fall again and again. It feels impossible. You want so badly for them to get it, to feel that joy of riding, but you can't do it for them. They too must trust and do, amidst the uncertainty, and it comes from within them, from their own faith. That's how all of life is, at least the meaningful parts. Wobbly, uncertain, hard, and uncomfortable. We don't always know what to expect, and we rarely have all the answers before we're called to take a step. But we do it anyway. We keep getting up because we're made to do hard things. It's how we grow. What if we trusted more, amidst the falls and setbacks, just like a child learning to ride? Faith is moving forward with trust, being okay in the question when the answer is not yet known. Finding peace here, from within, from heart center, even when questions swirl around. The heart of faith is trusting that guidance is here, unfolding in divine right time, even, especially, when what we've always known is no more. Stress and worry tend to be higher before we act. Once you begin, once you lean in, the fear shrinks. Faith is knowing, this serves me, this is helping me grow, asking, what is this teaching me? As Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. So what area of your life is calling you to trust and to move forward in faith? Let's set the intention now to trust, to take a tiny step forward, even if we don't know the full how or why, knowing Spirit is with you, and Spirit, life, gives you only that which serves you. Can I find peace in the question and trust in faith?